Greetings to all. 5th of September, it's Teachers' Day. It is a day we celebrate the people who have transformed our lives for the better through the medium of education. The people who significantly contributed in promising a life of education, erudition, and learning. It's our teachers, the custodian of learning who taught us the facts of learning and existence. On behalf of the Board of Trustees and Management of National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan Group of 69 institutions, I extend a very hearty welcome to each one of you to this Teachers' Day celebration. Let's begin the celebration on an auspicious note with the lighting of the lamp. May I request our Founder President Dr. R. Varadarajan and our Director Dr. V. Balasubramaniam to light the ceremonial lamp. Prayer is a communion with God, whether it be a petition made to God, worship, repentance, praise, or thanksgiving. It connects every human heart with the universal power. We now have the prayer rendered by the teacher choir of NES-SVB group. Dynamic in personality, quiet in demeanor, austere in habits, unostentatious in behavior, just in decision, prompt in action, simple in his dress, sympathetic in his dealings. That was the personality of Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, the first vice president of Free India. He was a philosopher and a great teacher whose contributions to the Indian education system is undeniable. One of India's most influential scholars of comparative religion and philosophy, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan built a bridge between the East and the West by showing how the philosophical systems of each tradition are comprehensible within the terms of the other. Today, we pay our heartfelt tribute to this great philosopher of our times. Once again, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and management of NES and SVB Group of Institutions, I extend a very hearty welcome to all the officials, faculty members, invited guests and viewers to this Teachers' Day celebration. Coming up now are the students of NES National Public School who through this welcome dance admire and appreciate the ability of teachers to arouse and inspire in their students the love for learning, creativity and innovation.
कोई जो मिला तो मुझे ऐसा लगता था जैसे मेरी सारी दुनिया में गीतों की रुत और रंगों की बरखा है, खुशबू की आंधी है, महकी हुई सी अब सारी फिजाएं हैं, बहकी हुई सी अब सारी हवाएं हैं, खोई हुई सी अब सारी दिशाएं हैं, बदली हुई सी अब सारी अदाएं हैं, जागी उमंगे है, धड़क रहा है दिल, सांसों में तूफान है, होठों पे नगमे है, आंखों में सपने हैं, सपनों में बीते हुए सारे वो लम्हे हैं, जब कोई आया था नजरों पे छाया था, दिल में समाया था, कैसे मैं बताऊं तुम्हें कैसा उसे पाया था, प्यारे से चेहरे पे बिखरी जो जुल्फे, तो ऐसा लगता था जैसे कोहरे के पीछे एक ओस में धुला हुआ फूल खिला है, जैसे बादल में एक चांद छुपा है और झांक रहा है, जैसे रात के पर्दे में एक सवेरा है, रोशन रोशन आंखों में सपनों का सागर, जिसने प्रेम सितारों की चादर जैसे झलक रही है, लहरों लहरों बात करे तो जैसे मोती बरसे, जैसे कहीं चांदी की पायल गूंजे, जैसे कहीं शीशे के जाम गिरे और छन से टूटे, जैसे कोई छिप के सितार बजाए, जैसे कोई चांदनी रात में गाए, जैसे कोई हौले से पास बुलाए, कैसी मीठी बात थी वो, कैसी मुलाकात थी वो, जब मैंने जाना था नजरों से कैसे पिघलते हैं दिल और आरज़ू पाती है कैसे मंजिल, और कैसे उतरता है चांद जमीन पर, कैसे कभी लगता है स्वर्ग अगर है तो बस मैं यहीं पर, इसने बताया मुझे और समझाया मुझे, हम जो मिले हैं हमें ऐसे ही मिलना था, गुल जो खिले हैं उन्हें ऐसे ही खिलना था, जन्मों के बंधन जन्मों के रिश्ते हैं, जब भी हम जन्मे तो हम यूं ही मिलते हैं, कानों में मेरे जैसे शहद से खुलने लगे, ख्वाबों के दर जैसे आंखों में डूबने लगे, ख्वाबों की दुनिया भी कितनी हंसी और कैसी रंगीन थी, ख्वाबों की दुनिया जो कहने को थी पर कहीं भी नहीं थी, ख्वाब जो टूटे मेरे आंख जो खुली मेरी होश जो आया मुझे, मैंने देखा मैंने जाना वो जो कभी आया था, नजरों पे छाया था, दिल में समाया था, जा भी चुका है और दिल मेरा है अब तन्हा तन्हा, न तो कोई अरमा है न कोई तमन्ना है न कोई सपना है, अब जो मेरे दिन और अब जो मेरी रातें हैं उनमें सिर्फ आंसू हैं, उनमें सिर्फ दर्द की रंज की बातें हैं और फरियादें हैं, मेरा अब कोई नहीं मैं हूँ और खोए हुए प्यार की यादें हैं, मैं हूँ और खोए हुए प्यार की यादें हैं, मैं हूँ और खोए हुए प्यार की यादें हैं।
I'm not a teacher, I am an awakener. These profound words by Robert Frost, said decades back, are meaningful even today in this modern era of information and technology. Role of teachers has shifted from broadcasting content to designing and guiding students through engaging learning opportunities, to search out and construct meaningful educational experiences that allow students to solve real-world problems, to encourage big ideas, powerful skills and habits of mind and heart, and to involve and induce them to participate in the creation and extension of new knowledge. Coming up is a film on the role of a teacher in today's era. Teaching doesn't consist primarily of lecturing to students who sit in rows and desks, dutifully listening and recording what they hear, but rather offers every child a rich, rewarding, and unique learning experience. Students aren't consumers of facts, they're active creators of knowledge. Educational institutions aren't just brick and mortar structures. They are centers of lifelong learning. And most important, teaching is recognized as one of the most challenging and respected career choices, absolutely vital to the social, cultural, and economic health of our nation. Today, educational environment isn't confined to the classroom, but instead extends into the home and community and around the world. Information isn't bound primarily in books. It's available everywhere in bits and bytes. Massive revolutions in knowledge, information, technology, and public demand for better learning has made it necessary for educational institutions to restructure themselves, and this requires a role reinvention for teachers. Today, every part of the teacher's job requires redefining their relationship with students, colleagues, and community, the tools and techniques they employ, their rights and responsibilities, the form and content of curriculum, standards to set and how to assess, their preparation as teachers, and their ongoing professional development. In short, teachers need to reinvent themselves to better serve educational institutions and students. Traditionally, teaching was a combination of information dispensing, custodial childcare, and sorting out academically inclined students from others. Today, teachers have to adapt new practices that acknowledge both the art and science of learning. They understand that the essence of education is a close relationship between a knowledgeable, caring adult and a secure, motivated child. Their most important role is to get to know each student as an individual in order to comprehend his or her unique needs, learning style, social and cultural background, interests and abilities. The teacher's role is also to counsel students as they grow and mature, helping them integrate their social, emotional and intellectual growth so as to enhance their abilities to seek, understand and use knowledge to make better decisions in their personal lives and to value contributing to society. Rather than see themselves solely as masters of subject matter such as history, math or science, teachers increasingly need to understand that they must inspire a love for learning in their students. Their role is no longer seen as being the king or queen of the classroom, a benevolent dictator deciding what's best for the powerless underlings in their care. In fact, they need to be led by students in terms of the pedagogy and get the students to truly take responsibility for their own education. One of the most powerful forces changing teachers' and students' roles in education is new technology. Teachers and their books were information oracles, spreading knowledge to a population with few others way to get it. The fundamental job of teaching is no longer to distribute facts, but to help children learn how to use them by developing their abilities to think critically, solve problems, make informed judgments, and create knowledge that benefits both the students and society. Teachers' role can be synergized through team teaching, in which two or more educators can share responsibility for a group of students. This approach will complement by allowing teachers to allow their strengths, interests, skills, and abilities in a magnified manner. Teachers should work with colleagues, family members, politicians, academics, community members, employees, and others to set clear and obtainable standards for knowledge, skills, and values that should be expected to be acquired by children. And they should also mentor new members of the profession to make them ready to take on complex challenges of today's classrooms. Reinventing the role of teachers inside and outside the classroom is needed to significantly better educational institutions and better educated students, contributing to improving the society. Let's hear about the role of a teacher from Dr. Jayashree Shashangan, who just superannuated from NES-SVB College.
Greetings to all. I'm here to wax eloquent about an ideal teacher in the current era. Well, I started 35 years ago and I've seen the academic programs changing from annual exam mode to semester exam with 7-point with internal and external component, and now today we are here at the 10-point grade system with only external component in most of the subjects. There has been a tectonic shift in the teaching learning process and we are now into a digital era, where there should be a blending of physical and digital classroom, which is going to be the norm of the future. In this scenario, information is freely available on the internet highway, where you don't even have to pay a toll for it, and therefore imparting information is not the primary job of today's teacher. Instead, today's teacher has to infuse life into the information which is already available with her personal touch, along with the general interpretations, and also dig out the think tank of the students to get new, fresh interpretations which will pave way for innovations which are useful for the future. Moreover, today's teacher has to be a facilitator only. She doesn't have to create material which is freely available. The teacher has to instill a sense of responsibility and commitment, as well as the teacher has to ignite the critical thinking in the students and show the way through experiential learning, and the students have to be given a certain extent of autonomy in learning, where it should be flexible and they should be allowed to learn at their own pace. All the best to all the future teachers. Thank you.
At this point, it would be helpful to know what our students and alumni think about the role of a teacher in modern era.
Hi, I'm Royston D'Souza of third year arts. According to me, a teacher should be a friend, philosopher and a guide to us. Her role is not just to teach the syllabus and help us get good grades or qualifications, but she should also guide and mentor us in different ways to prepare us to face challenges and excel in life. She should also help us magnify our strengths and overcome our weaknesses. I feel a teacher should be a person who kindles the love for learning in us and makes the whole process enjoyable.
I believe the role of a teacher has always been a challenging one. However, with these changing times, it's become even more challenging than what it was before. We all knew that there was a tech revolution coming in the teaching space. However, with the speed with which it has arrived is quite overwhelming. And the people who are most affected by this change are our teachers. The role of a teacher has actually now evolved to be a tech enabler and an engagement expert along with teacher. From what I've heard and what I'm reading across the news is that the engagement of these kids in the tech platform has become the most challenging part of a teacher's role today. I think a lot of them are now becoming an expert in how to engage them and how to ensure that the teaching is really reaching its actual goal. I think we not just have teachers today, what we have are trainers, coaches, mentors, tech experts, and engagement experts.
Our founder president, Dr. R. Varatharajan, is a teacher at heart under the visible trappings of an administrator.
I'm delighted to be the part of the Teachers' Day celebration conducted by NES-SVB group of 69 institutions. As the founder of these institutions, I'm proud to convey to you all that I am a born teacher. Right from the age of 17, I have been pursuing the teaching profession in a very efficient manner, believing in that only hard work and efficiency can bring success in the classroom.
Through the remodeling project, he has comprehensively encapsulated the role of a teacher in the holistic development of students. the 3 Ds that he always emphasizes on, that is, discipline, duty, and devotion, certainly are the foundational characteristics that define the role of an ideal teacher in the modern era. Teaching is conceptual and intellectual, abstract and concrete, creative and sequential. It's about people but framed through ideas. It's about content, hearts, minds, the past, the future, whatever we can imagine. Offering salutations to the teaching fraternity for their selfless and noble contributions to nation building are the students of NES International School, Mumbai.
In every teacher's life, there are many classes that they teach, and each class is equally important. But there is one class that they remember forever. Let's hear this wonderful story.
Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, class. How are you all?
Fine, ma'am.
Okay, sit down. Come on. So everyone, turn your English resource book page to 74. Let's start.
फिर सैर चला उड़ के छोड़ा है जहान नीचे मैं तुम्हारे अब हूँ हवाले हवा अब दूर दूर लोग बाग मीलों दूर ये वादियाँ कर धुआं धुआं तब हर बदली चली आती है छूने पर कोई बदली कभी कहीं कर दे तन गीला ये भी ना हो किसी मंजर पर मैं रुका नहीं कभी खुद से भी मैं मिला नहीं ये गिला तो है मैं खफा नहीं शहर एक से गांव एक से लोग एक से नाम एक
Time passed. Children grew up. Their mischief increased, and their love for teacher also increased. They had to be corrected and molded on each and every step, but they will remember these life lessons forever.
लड़खड़ाते हैं हम थाम लेते हैं कि वो खो जाए राह तो राह रोशन करते वो कभी मुस्कुराते हैं वो कभी गुस्सा करते हैं वो हमें है यकीन हमसे प्यार करते हैं वो दिए की ज्योति सीप में मोती ये दुनिया इतनी हसीन ना होती हम में भी सलीका न होता जीने का तरीका न होता ओ टीचर तुमसे ही पाया है सभी ये भूलेंगे ना तुमको हम कभी छोटे छोटे हाथ छोटे से पाँव थे नन्ही सी आँखों ने जब देखा था तुम्हें न था मालूम कि तुम ही तो दोगे पहचान हम सभी को इसलिए शुक्रिया दिल से तुमको दिए की ज्योति सीप में मोती, ये दुनिया इतनी हसीन ना होती, हम में भी सलीका न होता, जीने का तरीका न होता। वो टीचर तुमसे ही पाया है सभी, ये भूलेंगे राह तो राह रोशन करते वो। छोटे छोटे हाथ छोटे से पाँव थे, नन्ही सी आँखों ने जब देखा था तुम्हें, वो टीचर तुमसे ही पाया है सभी, ये भूलेंगे ना तुमको हम कभी। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरा, गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः, तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः।
We may have different professions, but don't you think, friends, there's this one common thread, a blessing which binds all of us together, and that is our teachers. And today, on this great day, we pay our respect to our founder principal sir, whose love, affection and discipline have made us achieve what we have achieved and become the success stories that we have become today.
Losing his mother when he was 1 day was probably the earliest pangs of separation and suffering, riddled with insecurity that Dr. R. Vardarajan went through. Lesser mortals in such a dismal and bleak situation would have cracked up, fragmented, ending up with scars and wounds of pain and frustration. But Dr. Vardarajan demonstrated exemplary courage and a steely resolve to draw on his inner reserves of pragmatism, composure, and stoical calm to deal with the challenges and obstacles that came his way. With a fiery determination, unflinching faith, and a burning desire to succeed, he set up the educational empire of National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan Group of institutions in 1963, which in 60 years has carved a special niche in the field of education. His mission of life was to become the nurturing hand to as many children as possible that he had missed having in his own childhood. Coming up next is a film on 60 years of the first teacher of NES-SVB group of institutions, Dr. R. Vardarajan.
Dr. Ramaswamy Vardarajan, the globally acclaimed educationist, hailed from Tanjore village of Madras, an important center for religion, art and architecture. A schoolboy who soon lost both his parents after his birth, was brought up by his elder sister. This boy used to visit the temple of Lord Ganesha on the bank of the river in Tanjore village during his childhood. It was his belief in Lord Ganesha, the god of wisdom, who inspired him to pioneer his life in the cause of education, which pushed him to take up the challenges. That young boy came down to Mumbai one fine morning, little knowing what he was destined for, what revolutionary contribution he would have to give to this metropolis. To achieve his dreams, he took up a job in a company which acted as a source of income. Education was deep seated in him. Though initially Dr. R. Vardarajan joined some occupation, he left it in no time and responded to the call of his heart, the call of education. With no money, no resources, or acquaintances in the metropolis, he rented a hut with 7 rustic children from the slum of Bhandup. He started his school with whatever income he had earned by then. Education was quite alien in those days to Bhandu, where in a desolate corner he set up his voyage in a hut-like structure by absolute dedication, hard work and unfailing tenacity. National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan, the two educational trusts in Mumbai and Thane districts, were pioneered by Dr. R. Varadarajan, a man with the vision that led him to become a globally acclaimed committed educationist. His fascinating voyage started way back in 1963 with the first school with just 7 rustic children whom he drew from playground, and the name National Education Society soon became a brand. Saraswati Vidya Bhavan, the sister trust, was set up in 1983 under the aegis of His Holiness Jagadguru Shankaracharya Sri Jayendra Saraswati Swamiji of Sri Kanchi Kamakoti Pitam. The fundamental philosophy of Sir and his vision, mission and motto towards education has laid a pathway for all to achieve our goals. Dr. R. Varadarajan is always believing in 2 mantras, God-fearing and hard-working. Dignity, decency and discipline are the 3 Ds Sir always tells students to imbibe. His vision, education. His mission, education. And his motto, education and only education. Flagship institutions of the NES and SVB family that have made a mark for themselves on the global arena. Today, the NES and SVB Trust, under the leadership of Dr. R. Varadarajan, cater to almost 45,000 students through 69 institutions in 6 campuses across Mumbai and Thane districts. The NES-SVB institutions offer academic multiple programs in various disciplines and cater to students right from pre-primary to post-graduation and doctoral studies. The various NES-SVB schools and colleges are affiliated to Maharashtra State Board, ICSE, CI Cambridge, IBO Geneva, University of Mumbai, SNDT Women's University, and Yashwantrao Chauhan, Maharashtra Open University. Recognition do not wait for awards, but awards follow the recognition in inevitable course. Vowing to the concept, Dr. R. Varadarajan never ran for the award but selflessly pursued his urge for educational development. The excellence of the institution established by him drew the attention of Government of India, which released a postal stamp in honor of National Education Society. The President of India awarded him as the best teacher in the ceremony held at New Delhi. Dr. R. Varadarajan received Netaji Centenary Award, first outstanding educationist in India, at the hands of Dr. Anita Bose-Paff, daughter of Netaji. Chambers RBNQ Award for Best Institution in India was one more feather he received in his crown. Times Group seized the opportunity, invited him as a guest editor of NI edition. The triple British honor conferred upon Dr. R. Varadarajan, the first Indian to receive this. Dr. R. Varadarajan's contribution gained special mention and acknowledgement in the British Parliament when he was felicitated at the House of Commons, UK in 2011. Dr. Varadarajan has also been the recipient of Lifetime Achievement Award bestowed by Kanti. The founder president of NES-SVB Group received the Asian Education Leader Award 2017, conferred by the Economic Times and presented by the Malaysian government at Malaysia. He has also received Times Education Icon Award 2017. Even government authorities of Greater Mumbai and Kalyan Dombivli Municipal Corporation renamed the roads by the name of his educational institutions. Each award has brought in him a renewed strength, just as a stout pillar would withstand any gigantic edifice. In this glorified journey of 60 years, the group is blessed by the visit of eminent personalities from all walks of life. Renowned personalities across the globe were deeply moved by Sir's richest knowledge and simplicity. One can witness the everlasting impression of Dr. R. Varadarajan and his quality work. Vardarajan always believed in being committed to the nation India and rendered his share for the upliftment of the society. Through National Education Society, he was instrumental in organizing socio-cultural events of high values for upliftment of the downtrodden of the society. Several medical camps and blood donation camps were organized on many occasions in all his 6 complexes. The tribes and villages were given helping hand by distributing sewing machines to poor women for making them self-dependent. Blankets and spectacles were distributed through camps. Community libraries were set up at Bhandup and Mulund complexes. Medical center was set up at Mulund for slum dwellers, organizing various seminars with leading organizations such as World Health Organization, Tata Institute of Research Center, etc. on the role of women in global scenario, education and girl child, healthy youth, nation's asset, targeted therapies in cancer, recent advances shows his selfless personality committed to society. Through National Institute of Open Schooling, adult education program is started by Dr. R. Vardarajan towards achieving 100% literacy. Vocational center were started for skill development of youth and women of the society. Dr. R. Vardarajan has always been ahead of time. He has published a book, Innovative Education Practices for Everyone in the Teaching Profession. To make our youth self-reliant, Startup Fest was initiated by Dr. R. Vardarajan for the degree college students. He believes that students should enter his school at KG and shall leave only after post-graduation. Atal Lab was started by him as a hub of innovation for his students. To inculcate patriotism in his students, Sir has sent a troop of students to Indo-Pak border and was applauded by the then President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. STEAM Lab, PhD centers, R&D centers, Innovation Hub were started by Dr. R. Vardarajan in his institutions for all his students. The physically disabled who get lesser attention are also taken care of by establishing a special school for hearing impaired students, which is now turning over SSC pass students and with 100% results. Medical camps organized by him profited many people of the society. The visionary educationist is consolidating infrastructural resources for future endeavors that will definitely make a world of difference to thousands of students. The employment percentage, skill development ratio of the country as compared to many others in the world caused a great concern in him when he visualized taking up these ventures. Our pranams and salutation to this great visionary and educationist, Dr. R. Vardarajan, founder president and first teacher of NES-SVB group of 69 institutions. Dr. Vardarajan, a born teacher, left behind a historic saga full of trials and tribulations, and yet creating epitomes after epitomes, is now marching ahead to celebrate Diamond Jubilee with novel idea of remodeling all his institutions for spreading the light of education to face 21st century.
Dr. V. Balasubramaniam is the director of NES and SV group of 69 educational institutions. As a people-oriented person, he has driven the group's growth and popularity to greater heights, working alongside the group's founder-president for the last 3 decades. As a social entrepreneur, he is committed to social change through education. The NES School for Hearing Impaired and the SVB's UM Tevar School at Dharavi, Mumbai are the corporate social responsibility initiatives of the group, which he closely oversees. His latest social initiative is managing the MCGM Parel English School, a first-of-its-kind partnership between the public and private sectors for providing education to the less privileged in Mumbai. Now we have the address by our director, Dr. V. Balasubramaniam.
Hello everybody, distinguished guests, educators, students, ladies and gents. On behalf of the management of the National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan group of institutions, I take this opportunity to wish you all a very happy Teachers' Day. Today also commemorates late Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan's birthday. Now, teachers are arguably the most important members of our society. They give children purpose, set them up for success as citizens of our world, and inspire them to do well and succeed in life. Everyone knows that today's youth will become tomorrow's leaders, and teachers have access to educate the youth in their most impressionable years, whether that is in teaching preschool, teaching extracurriculars, sports, or traditional classes. Teachers have this incredible ability to shape leaders of the future in the best way for society to build positive and inspired future generations, and therefore design society both on a local and a global scale. I must say, in reality, teachers have the most important job in this world. Teachers can act as a support system that is lacking elsewhere in students' lives. They can be a role model and an inspiration to go further and to dream even bigger. Teachers of all walks of life and subjects have the ability to shape opinions and help form ideas about society, life, and personal goals. The teacher-student connection is invaluable for all students. Teachers will stay positive for the students even when things seem grim. A great teacher always has compassion for their students, understanding for their students' personal lives, and appreciation for their academic goals and achievements. Teachers are role models for children to be positive, to try harder, and to reach for the stars. Knowledge and education are the basis for all things that can be accomplished in life. Teachers provide the power of education to today's youth, thereby giving them the possibility for a better future. Now, teachers do not accept failure, and therefore, students, in fact, all students are more likely to succeed. Teachers know when to push students, when to give a gentle nudge in the right direction, and when to let students figure it out on their own. But they won't ever let the student give up. One of the most important parts of teaching is having dedication. Teachers not just listen, but also coach and mentor their students. Now, education is a fundamental aspect in the development of the society. If the youth of this society is educated, a future is born. Teachers provide the education that improves quality of life, thereby bringing so much to both individuals and society as a whole. Teachers increase productivity and creativity of students and therefore of future workers. Now, when students are pushed to be creative and productive, they are more likely to be entrepreneurial and make technological advances, ultimately leading to the economical development of the country. Dr. R. Varadarajan's leadership and his ceaseless sacrifices has constantly motivated us all to achieve higher levels of excellence. Thank you so much, sir, for your timeless vision and unstinted motivation. Mrs. Saraswati Varadarajan, the soul behind NES and SVB group of institutions, who's always been a source of abundant motivation and support for all of us, deserves a very special mention here today. Mrs. Maika, Mrs. Shushma, Mrs. Reena Saha, Mrs. Megha, Mrs. Primrose, Dr. Mary, Dr. Monita, Mrs. Tulsi, heads of various institutions of NES and SVB, the compare of today's function, and all those who have directly or indirectly contributed towards this function deserves hearty appreciation. Heartfelt congratulations to the teacher and the student achievers, and I wholeheartedly appreciate the splendid performance by today's performers. Finally, I call upon you all, the educators of NES and SVB, the educators of modern India, to reflect upon every day the resolve that each one of us took the day when we first stepped into this profession. And that is, we'll lead by example and mentor each one of our students with care and make them realize their potential. Happy Teachers' Day once again.
Teachers care about what students think, show them how to think, to ponder, to discover, and to define their thoughts and themselves. They never let students lapse into intellectual laziness. They show them that it is all right to think differently as long as they could back up their thoughts. Ideal teachers are those who use themselves as bridges over which they invite their students to cross. Then, having facilitated their crossing, joyfully collapse, encouraging them to create bridges of their own. Coming up next is a film on the ideal teacher.
Imagine what the teaching profession in India would look like. What if all Indian teachers would be a part of vibrant teaching community from the first day they enrolled in the initial teacher education, such that they graduated with strong in-school experience, confident with rigorous made professional standards. What if all new teachers came into schools that supported growth and development and as a shade and professional responsibility? What if all teachers had a chance to watch and learn from the best and in turn keep observed and receive constructive and useful feedback? What if all principals came to the job fully prepared and with clear vision of what a good leadership looks like and have the skills to achieve that vision? If each of these skills were in place, India would position to make counterleap. What our schools have achieved for the students, this is precisely the sort of teaching profession all Indian governments have resolved to create. We should have a set of professional standards in place for teachers and principals that specify expectations and provide a common language for talking about practice. We should have national approaches for ensuring qualities through initial teacher education, teacher registration to certify highly accomplished and lead teachers. Teachers have clear pathway from involvement in initial teacher education to recognition at the highest levels of practice. We should have a powerful vision of school culture which focuses on learning, development and growth. We should try our best to enact this vision so that we undertake rigorous preparation before starting the job. They want to leave description of what success looks like, tools that allow them to know where they stand and planning to upgrade them. They want to be part of vibrant local, national and global professional community. We are realizing the potential of our professional standards, making them the foundation for a comprehensive system of support. We are strengthening our education system by ensuring new teachers are prepared and welcomed into the profession. Schools are places where teachers observe, collaborate, and learn from each other. School leaders now have to create a condition where the teachers thrive and the students will reach the excellence. This is what we are striving for, and it is for sure that this will be easily achieved. Our project is to transform a teacher to ideal teacher. Why this project? The life of great educationist, the first female teacher of India, Savitribai Phule, was a life of hardships, but their journey reflects a journey towards excellence and service to mankind, a journey towards an ideal teacher. It was a process. At the age of 17 began the journey of our beloved founder president, Dr. R. Vardarajan, who was determined to uplift the society through education. Hardships and challenges were in plenty, but his sheer determination, courage, and his desire to save the children and enlighten them with knowledge and education took him to the House of Commons, a journey towards becoming of an ideal teacher. It is a process. People from different backgrounds have different views about an ideal teacher.
An ideal teacher is someone who not only provides the solutions to the students' issues, but also help them to visualize and apply those concepts in the real life. An ideal teacher asks a lot of exploratory questions, lot of open-ended questions to help the quality of thinking of the students. And they adopt an approach which is a multi-optional winning approach. And if we are able to achieve this, then we will be preparing our students to face the challenges of real life.
For me, an ideal teacher is someone who nurtures the child and grooms them to be better individuals, because children are the future of a society and we as teachers are responsible for their upbringing. Secondly, I feel that an ideal teacher is someone who has empathy towards the kid, who understands the mindset of the child, and this enables a better communication between the teacher and the student. It's very important that the teacher encourages the child to be creative, to ignite aspirations and hope in the child so that he dreams of a bigger future. A teacher who is adaptable and flexible to understand the child is somebody who's an ideal teacher for me.
To me, an ideal teacher is someone who puts their students' needs over theirs and helps them adapt to the perennially changing society around us. For example, every profession, whether we like it or not, has embraced technology, be it running biochemical experiments remotely, getting groceries delivered to your doorstep, video editing for a perfect cinematic experience, or even political campaigns for expanding their outreach. The nucleus of all these is writing software code. I will go even as far as saying that coding, after English, is likely becoming the next global language we conduct our day-to-day business with. An ideal teacher would be someone who would recognize the state of affairs and strive to put their students on a path to embracing coding and more generally technology. This could be done by incorporating presentation-based lessons, game-based assignments, or coding-based assignments in mathematics.
Broad classification of the qualities that an ideal teacher must possess. Professional ethics, emotional quotient, moral values, academic excellence, social responsibility. A teacher must have radiant, pleasing, impressive personality, appearance, pleasant manners, and enthusiasm. A teacher must have true devotion towards teaching, mastery over subject, fair knowledge of current affairs. Code of conduct for teachers. The teacher needs to possess the virtues that can be broadly classified as respect, integrity, trust, and care. A teacher must be regular and punctual and organized. She refers the handbook and logbook before going to the class. She moves to the class on time along with logbook and handbook. A teacher must teach using innovative methods of teaching to make the lesson effective and must be student-centric, like use of technology, music, learning centers, and use of ABL kits. An ideal teacher conducts timely revision which acts like a magic for students as she uses variety of student-centric methods. To name a few: graphic organizer method, gamification, just a minute, flipped classroom, seminar using chit methods, student pocket handbook, and so on. An ideal teacher, through regular testing, motivates unmotivated students, restore students' desire to learn, encourage students to keep learning, creates increased achievements. Some of the innovative testing methods like quick write, tic-tac-toe, quiz, think, write, pair, share, inside-outside circle, and idea spinner. To make concept very clear to the students, an ideal teacher makes use of maximum academic resources, books for reference from the library, use of the computer lab for updation of knowledge and for gathering extra knowledge. In order to break the monotonous approach of teaching, an ideal teacher takes the students to different learning centers like the Atal Tinkering Lab, Mini Science Center, Computer Lab, School Lab, Library, Auditorium, and also the playground. An ideal teacher believes in mistake-free and accurate notes and uses modern techniques of giving notes. An ideal teacher shows patience in checking the notes minutely and ensures that the students are possessing complete and correct notes. A teacher deals directly with the students' feeling and relationship and problems. An ideal teacher fosters essential skill in students for handling emotions such as frustration, worry, and anger by creating a positive learning environment. Earlier, teaching social responsibility was a prerogative of the family, community, and religion. Every person is responsible to society as a whole. An ideal teacher plays a major role in conducting activities in school as well as in community. An ideal teacher is a role model for her students and hence she should possess basic moral values such as dignity, truthfulness, fairness, responsibility, freedom. When a teacher evolves as an ideal teacher, each part of her speaks for the student. Eyes, to see the marvelous works of a student's. Mouth, to smile to her kids every morning. Ear, to hear all the stories that her kids tell her. An intelligent mind, to think and to know how to help each child. Feet, to bring the kids to interesting places outside the school. Hands, to hold, help and hug. A heart that loves all children.
And now a little about the first teacher of the NES and SVB group, Dr. R. Vardarajan. All along his educational journey, he has planted numerous trees under the shade of which he never sat. Under the visible trappings of an administrator, he is actually a teacher at heart. And this is the very trait that has enabled him to churn out 69 exemplary institutions imparting education from kindergarten to post-graduation and doctorate. Life itself has been the greatest teacher for him, and of course, not to forget on this day, Mr. Sundar Rajan, his maths teacher, who left an indelible impression in his mind. The numerous awards that he has won from various local, state, national and international agencies have only reiterated his contributions. Of course, his biggest award always is the success of his students, not only in academic exams, but the exams of life. His efforts have been recognized and he has been conferred upon with the Lifetime Achievement Award by the Asia-famed magazine Education World, Delhi and Kanchi Kamakoti Peetam. He has dedicated his life to the enhancement of the institutions and advancing the field of education with his pioneering spirit, innovation, advocacy and achievements that have improved the education industry. And now we have the presidential address by Dr. R. Vardarajan.
Greetings from NES-SVB group of institutions. Dear trustees, officials, and educators of National Education Society and Saraswati Vidya Bhavan group of 69 institutions. I am indeed delighted to be a part of this great day's celebration. The light of the world and the hope that gives us strength to survive is you, the teachers in our midst today. Today, we celebrate Teachers' Day. I'm a part of it, being the born teacher for the last 60 years. A day kept aside to honor the gifted souls who work every day to make sure that the future is bright for all of us. Today, we recognize the dedicated services of our teachers throughout the country who are actively engaged in building and strengthening the intellectual and ethical foundations of our children. I greet the teachers of our country and my institutions, of course, and express our gratitude for their services and commitment. In fact, the whole nation salutes the teachers. Teachers are a great source of inspiration. The idea of celebrating Teachers' Day came into practice in most of the countries during the 20th century. Teachers' Day is celebrated across the nation on 5th September, but across the globe, it is celebrated as World Teachers' Day on 5th October. When Dr. S. Radhakrishnan became the President of India, his friends and students requested him to allow them to celebrate his birthday, which falls on 5th September. You know what he replied? Instead of celebrating my birthday, it would be my proud privilege if 5th September is observed as Teachers' Day. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan was a philosopher, academician, and statesman who served as the first Vice President and second President of our country. He has been awarded the highest civilian award, Bharat Ratna, for his exemplary work in education. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan always believed that teachers should be the best minds in the world. Dr. Radhakrishnan was born in 1882 to a Telugu Brahmin family in Tirthani in Tamil Nadu. A highly educated man of his time, Dr. Radhakrishnan completed his education from the University of Madras, after which he went on to be a teacher in the University of Mysore and the University of Calcutta. Later on, he served as a Vice Chancellor in Andhra University and Banaras University. After all these accomplishments, he was also invited to Oxford University to take the chair of Professor for Eastern Religions. Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan was nominated 11 times for the Nobel Peace Prize. Here, I recall the statement made by the former President of India, late Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. If a country has to be corruption-free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are 3 key social members who can make a difference. They are 1. Father, 2. Mother, and 3rd, teacher. And you must value all that they have done for you. A teacher must explore and exhibit skills to be a best teacher. I wish you to have much success in your professional pursuits. Inspiring curriculum and modern teaching methods are the need of the hour. 59% of students in India are unemployable, and teachers say that the existing curriculum does not provide for holistic growth of students and does not equip them with the required skills. A teacher is the most valuable asset for a country. They are the front runners who are helping to change, improve, and develop society. A teacher is the one who molds students into different personalities, who in turn helps in giving back to the society. Teachers are the source of knowledge and enlightenment for all of us. They play a significant role in showing the path to the students for their brightest future. It is quoted that teaching is the profession that teaches all other professions. I repeat, teaching is the profession that teaches all other professions. Research and innovation take place in every field, but it is not happening in the field of teaching as much, according to my findings, amongst the teachers. It is all left to the teacher's ability. That's why there is so much disparity in every teacher's teaching. And this is the very reason I introduce 8 key points after establishing Modern Teaching Methods Council, giving top priority to model teaching and modern teaching. It is a well-known fact, which I mention in a thundering voice. Only education can change the world. Only brainstorming teaching sessions conducted by teachers can provide to the students peace of mind, passion for serving humanity, and long living. The aim of education is not the acquisition of information or acquisition of technical skills, though essential in modern society, but the development of that bent of mind, that attitude of reason, that spirit of democracy, which will make us responsible citizens. As for teachers, acquisition of Knowledge and happiness can be gained by teaching and learning only. In the fast changing world of today, where new ideas, values, and concepts are rapidly replacing the old ones, the importance of quality education for every student has further increased. Education has to liberate a person from a narrow worldview and the boundaries of caste, community, race, and gender. Teachers have taken the responsibility of molding the young minds to understand the world and make it a better place to live in. To achieve this, teachers working in the schools, colleges, and universities can play a huge role, and they can make their performance meaningful and useful to the society and country ultimately. Quality education gives quality life, and this can be made possible in every classroom. And as such, conduct brainstorming teaching sessions in each class. Teach entrepreneurship in each classroom. Inspire the students to secure 2 degrees minimum so as to be professional, business magnate, or industrialist. Thus, they should receive resumes for their selection of candidates for their own business houses and industries. Mind you, whatever is good to know is difficult to learn. Classroom management and planning management are the 2 eyes of a successful teacher. Yes, what we have done for ourselves alone dies with us. What we have done for others and the world remains, and it is immortal. Teachers' work should be faultless. It should be mistake-free. If there is a fault in teaching, students will fail. As in the case of dictionary, if there is a spelling mistake, readers will commit mistakes. Yes. So be determined to be a great and noble teacher, to impart quality education and create classroom students as a great human beings. That is your contribution to the world. To be an ideal teacher and a quality teacher, one must follow strictly. What are they? Classroom management, 1. 2. Planning management. 3. Reading and research. 4. Quality time to students. 5. Quality teaching. 6. Counseling. 7. Persuasion. 8. Individual management. 9. Rich confidence, best ability, overwhelming enthusiasm. And 10. Last, desire to do the things differently. If these qualities are in you, dear teachers, you can be an ideal teacher. Yes, teachers want well-prepared and printed ready-made curriculum and not well-researched and newly invented curriculum. Is it all right, my dear educators? Subject Curriculum Committee and Central Curriculum Committee will answer these questions. Curriculum content to be planned and imparted for practical life and for corporate career. Form a Central Curriculum Committee to work on this. Backward mapping must be done for systematic execution of the curriculum. Skill-based education is the need of the hour and must be imparted right from grade 1. I conclude my speech by quoting Sri J. Krishnamurti. A school, college is a place where one learns in totality the wholeness of life. It is a place where academic excellence is absolutely necessary. It is a place where both the teachers and the students explore not only the outer world of knowledge, but also their own thinking and their own behavior. I express our gratitude to the teaching fraternity of all our institutions and expect their commitment to complete the remodeling of their classrooms and institutions so as to move the time and technology and thus serve the nation and the world with yet more commitment. Happy Teachers' Day. May God bless you to be an ablest teacher in this fast-moving world.
And today's grand celebration comes to an end with the grand finale performed by the students of NES High School.
When God created teachers
in His wisdom and His grace,
was to help us learn to make our world
a wiser, better place. Plants the seeds of knowledge, sprinkles them with love, and patiently nurtures their growth to produce tomorrow's dreams.
So here we are going to present a dance showing comparison between a teacher and the elements of nature.
The sun. The sun has an important influence on one planet. Without the sun's heat and light, life on Earth would not exist.
Same way, without a teacher's guidance, student would become reluctant to do anything related to actual learning or education.
Teachers are like flower blossoms. Throughout the year, the teacher connects with their students by reflecting and perfecting on their own work.
A teacher keeps on growing and blossoming every year with each new class.
on blowing. No living thing on this earth can live without breathing air. Same way, a student is no one without a teacher.
Just like air, a teacher keeps on giving knowledge to a student. And without this knowledge, a student is incompetent in all walks of life.
Irrespective of its obstacles. It teaches us the mantra of never stopping.
Same way, a teacher teaches us to achieve success in life, irrespective of any obstacle that comes in our way.
Jari 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 pavan.
And make them aware of its importance. It keeps on wearing, but still it keeps on serving the human community.
Same way, a teacher keeps on serving the student community and is always happy with the success of his students.
Teachers are compared with the elements of nature. As nature takes care of us like a mother, a teacher takes care of his students by encouraging them,
guiding them, and plays an important role in the overall development of a child.
You taught us music. You taught us to smile. You taught us to give and the right way to live. Can never thank you enough for being what you were and making us what we are. Gurave Namaha.
गुरुर् ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे करुणारसपूर्ण सुधाब्दे कामकोटिपीठाधिपते चरणे शरणं देयिते चन्द्रशेखर गुरुमूर्ते चन्द्रशेखर गुरुमूर्ते चन्द्रशेखर गुरुमूर्ते
As we come to the end of today's celebration, I would like to thank the management led by Dr. R. Vardarajan and Dr. V. Balasubramaniam for making this day so special for all the teachers of the NES and SVB group. I also thank the members of Program Committee and the technical team for their tireless efforts in putting up such a spectacular virtual celebration for all of us. And thank you to all the officials, faculty members, invited guests, and viewers for being a part of the celebration. Thank you all. Now, we conclude the program with the national anthem.